So you may or may not know that about a week ago, Nintendo held a major investor meeting, and we are now starting to get some of the official translations from Furukawa's statements, some of which hint that Nintendo Switch Online could be around the corner from a big overhaul, so we have to talk about that. Then there's also major leaks and rumors floating around from a reliable source that is claiming that Donkey Kong is about to get a mega push, and it could be as soon as something like a September Nintendo Direct. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. Now, as I mentioned, guys, we are first talking about Nintendo Switch Online today, and that is because we now have the official translations from the recent Nintendo investor meeting, and Furukawa did go out of his way to comment and respond back to what, they're kind of trying to do to enhance and better support Nintendo Switch Online service as a whole, because if you don't know, it's really lackluster compared to the competition when you look at things like the lack of just being able to chat with your friends via voice without having to use like a silly smartphone app and things like that. We also have no themes and folders for the Switch. We also have, a lack of updates really around their classic systems that they once pumped out, really weekly or monthly games into the service. We are now just seeing them hit and miss, and we really only have the NES and SNES, and we are expecting a lot more to come for the Nintendo Switch Online service. So the first thing I want to do is quickly read through Furukawa's exact translation and what I think that could mean for the future of Nintendo Switch Online. The Furukawa's exact statement is as follows. Nintendo started the Nintendo Switch Online service in September 2018 for Nintendo Switch users. People with the membership can play games with their friends online, such as titles like Animal Crossing New Horizons. In addition, they can play some of the games that were released for the NES and SNES. Membership in this service exceeded 26 million paying accounts in September of last year and is still growing steadily, in step with the increase in Nintendo Switch system sales. For Nintendo Switch Online, it's important not only to increase the number of new members, but also to encourage existing members to continue using the service. So we are working on increasing the appeal of the service to make it even more fun and convenient to play with Nintendo Switch. So obviously there's not a ton we can take from that statement other than, they're trying to make it better, which I would hope that they are if you are an active paying subscriber, as any subscription service does have to have incremental upgrades and things to really entice the player to stay subscribed, because, we did have some really cool stuff like, the Mario 35, Pac-Man 99, and all these different kind of promotional online games, even Tetris 99, that are really cool and great ideas. And I do think that Nintendo should continue to experiment with this, but at $2 a month, or the $1.99 a month, you should really be able to expect maybe a little bit more, or maybe even there's been a lot of rumors around a higher pricing tier but a lot more features, and maybe even something like a broader classic console collection such as Game Boy Advance, N64, maybe even if we're dreaming the GameCube. But there's really no telling on what exactly Nintendo will do here, but I do think that it's about time for them to really re-examine the service from the ground up and add in things like voice chat, add in things like system folders and themes, because I think all Nintendo Switch owners want that at this point, and they've made that very clear. And I do think that Nintendo has taken some incremental steps to maybe get us closer to that, as even if they did something like bringing back the virtual console, I think people would be very happy with that, because you just recently had all these Metroid Dread talks going around online, and that caused the Wii U to actually have a resurgence in digital game sales through the eShop on the Wii U, and we shouldn't have to go back a previous generation to play games that are very playable on something like a Nintendo Switch, and you can take it with you portably. So I think it makes a bunch of sense for Nintendo to capitalize on this demand and actually put things like Game Boy Advance and maybe even N64 games on Nintendo Switch Online, or at least give them to us in a virtual console like drip feed type of thing, where we can pay $6.99 or $7.99 for these games. And it's Nintendo missing revenue if they choose not to do this, and I think it also entices more people to be Nintendo Switch Online subscribers. But I do want to know from you guys if you're currently happy with your Nintendo Switch Online subscription, or if you're kind of in the boat like I am, where you think we really need to see an overhaul soon. And if you do think that, let me know what you personally want the most from your Nintendo Switch Online experience. And then from there, guys, the other big thing I want to talk about today is what the rest of this year could look like for Nintendo potentially, because they did show us a ton of stuff at their E3 Direct, and they really don't have to have more games come out the rest of this year, because they have a pretty stacked lineup for the holiday season already. But you could argue that if these Switch Pro rumors are real, or even if just Nintendo really wants to dominate this holiday season, that they are still missing like one big AAA title, whether that be like a Mario Kart 9 or a Donkey Kong, which is who we're really going to focus on today. Because if you guys remember, leading into E3, we did get a big large list of leaks from Zippo. And while he did not get everything right, there was a lot that he did get right, and it's worth revisiting these recent updates from Zippo because, you know, he got the 2D Metroid that was totally done. He did say Breath of the Wild 2 would be a 2022 title, and you know, that was really a 50-50 call because I think most people could say 2021 or 2022 and they were, you know, just right on one or the other because we knew to expect it, you know, either being announced or not at that event. So that was kind of a 50-50 one, but there's multiple other things that he reported on that have come true. And I do want to cover, you know, this recent report that basically suggests that Donkey Kong is going to get a mega push on all fronts, and that's going to include stuff like an animation series and the Nintendo World theme park in Japan that is actually currently under construction for an entire Donkey Kong experience. And I think that, you know, if these leaks and rumors are true, maybe Donkey Kong is the holiday 2021 system seller for Nintendo, and maybe they really do want to make this, you know, elevated to the same level as Mario, or at least get his name out there and push it in that same way. Kind of similar to what we're seeing with Metroid right now, in Nintendo's social media really pushing this brand and trying to expose it to more fans. So I want to quickly read through the article with you guys around why Donkey Kong is in the headlines and why we're expecting, you know, some potential new major announcements to come soon. Nintendo is reportedly planning a big push for its Donkey Kong franchise, including a new game, animation, and theme park world. That's according to historically reliable Nintendo insider Zippo, who previously claimed that a new Donkey Kong game is in development at Nintendo EPD alongside other insiders and publication Nintendo Life. This week, the insider claimed that the in-development video game was part of a larger push for Donkey Kong planned by Nintendo. I've been told by multiple people that Donkey Kong is the next franchise in line to follow Mario in Nintendo's push for their game franchises to become multimedia juggernauts, they said. Donkey Kong & Co. aren't just getting a new game, they're getting animation. Before this catches fire, my sources did not specify whether or not this was a movie or a show, just that an animation featuring DK characters was early in the works. A big theme park expansion, merchandise, etc. This game is not just a one-off, DK is being taken seriously at the Big N again, and this should be good news for fans everywhere. And to further back up this report, we even have things like the theme park construction site screenshots out there, so you can actually see that Nintendo is planning some mega things for Donkey Kong, and it only makes sense for them to align this all with a big game release, and then also with something like their expansion to their theme park, and maybe even the animation series that is reportedly in early development right now. So I do think that this is totally possible, that the Donkey Kong game is closer to completion than we realize, and that it could be the sleeper 2021 holiday title. Now, that's obviously not confirmed, but we know that Nintendo has a very stacked 2022 right now, and I do think that Donkey Kong could easily slide into the end of this year, and especially if these Nintendo Switch Pro reports are real, and you know, we will start production in this month of July, and I would expect to start seeing some leaked photos online relatively soon if all of the Bloomberg reports were real, and if they are going to be, you know, doing a staggered relaunch for the holiday season, it would make a lot of sense to put something else out there besides like just your Pokemon remakes, which are obviously going to be, you know, big system sellers in and of themselves, but I don't think that that's the huge title that really can push new hardware. And Donkey Kong, if Nintendo's serious about it and they put the same Mario Odyssey team, which is, you know, what the reports are claiming on this game, I do think that if they put it into, you know, maybe a 3D perspective, a lot of the reports say it's 2.5D, so maybe they merge 2D platforming and some 3D experiences, but if they really give this franchise, you know, a new direction and make a media push, people know the name Donkey Kong and they recognize him, and if they get, you know, that lined up with movies and animation and the theme park, I think that it makes sense for Donkey Kong to be Nintendo's next major brand and a great seller overall in their repertoire of their franchises on the Nintendo Switch. But the big question I do want to tackle also is, will we get a September or fall direct? Because it could be September, could be October, or Nintendo could skip it and let us really go through holiday season just showing up with what they have already announced, which by the way is a huge list of games. They even tweeted out a list after E3 of all the titles they have coming the rest of this year and next year, and it's obviously enough to get them through the rest of this year, especially, you know, considering that we just came out of a pandemic and that 2020 was a very light year in terms of software, but that also allows some other possible, you know, sleeper games that we don't know about to maybe be announced at a fall direct. And I do tend to believe that Nintendo will hold some type of presentation. I hope it's a mainline Nintendo Direct presentation. It could also obviously be an indie world showcase or, you know, a third-party partner showcase, but I do think that Donkey Kong could make an appearance if it is a mainline direct, and it could be the show closer for this year, and then surprise, it's out at holiday season, like the end of November, you know, maybe even early December, or they launch it at the end of October. But regardless, all that stuff is, you know, being talked about online right now, and I really want to get your guys' thoughts and opinions on if you think that the Zippo reports about Donkey Kong getting a major boost and a major push is real. And also the big question is, do you think we will get some kind of fall direct from Nintendo, you know, whether that be in September or October, and what kind of major games do you think that maybe Nintendo will unveil at an event like that? So make sure you share all your thoughts with me on that stuff in the comments down below before you leave the video, and then also hop over to the community tab and vote in the poll, where I will be asking you if you're going to be, you know, picking up a new Donkey Kong game, and if you think it will be released this year or maybe something further down the line like a 2022 title. So make sure you do those couple things before you leave the video. Thanks so much for watching the video today, everyone. I do truly appreciate you all sticking around until the end. I do at this point in the video want to invite you all one more time to join Sunbro Nation if you haven't done so already. Do so by subscribing below, hit the like button on your way out on this video if you enjoyed it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. That's gonna do it for me, guys. I hope you all have a great day. Sunbro Nation, out.